Revenge films.
I work at a small-sized firm that was only established several years ago. There are only 10 employees working at the firm. Because of this, we all had a heavy workload. My manager and colleagues worked day and night, but we didn't mind because we all loved our jobs. There was a great ambiance in the office. Our company president was in his 40s and decided to start his own business after working at a different company for over a decade. He always told us employees that we were like family to him. He was a very caring person and approachable as a boss. The sales of the company were on a gradual rise, and I was optimistic about the future of the company. This company is the only one that I've worked for since graduating university. I love my job and colleagues and look forward to coming to work every day. The only thing bad about our workplace was the ridiculously long work hours. When overworked, it was hard to stay motivated, so the company president would often award us with monthly bonus payments or a perfect attendance allowance. Up until now, I've been receiving the perfect attendance allowance on a regular basis. I was still young and vibrant, and the long hours didn't affect me too much, and the extra cash each month helped me stay motivated. I was one of the few women at the company, and there was one female colleague of mine, Karen, who came to this company after giving birth to her first child. Karen had joined the company 6 months prior to me, but we weren't very close because she pretty much kept to herself. Because Karen had a small child to take care of, she often had to leave the office early to pick up her daughter from daycare. She would also take time off of work frequently to take care of her sick child. So Karen hadn't received the perfect attendance allowance yet. On payday, she would always come up to me and say, "I'm never going to get the perfect attendance allowance. It's impossible when you have a young child to take care of. I envy the fact that you're single." But the company president gave Karen child allowance, which was more money than the perfect attendance allowance that I got. The end of the year approached, and we were all looking forward to our year-end bonuses. The president's wife was in charge of the paychecks, and she would hand us our paycheck stubs in person each month. When it was my turn, I received a paycheck stub from the president's wife. "You've received the perfect attendance allowance each month, so I was surprised that you didn't get it this time. I hope that you're not being overworked. I know that we keep you very busy." I was surprised to hear her say that because I hadn't taken any days off of work this month. I took a look at my paycheck stub and saw that it said that I had taken some days off of work and left work early several times. The president's wife then went over to Karen and handed the paycheck stub to her. "This is your first perfect attendance month. How exciting! Great job, Karen." I knew for a fact that Karen didn't have perfect attendance this month. She took some days off and was late to work a couple of times. I couldn't believe that Karen had tricked the company into giving her the allowance. She was already receiving child allowance. It wasn't fair. It made me angry to see Karen so content. I knew that she had cheated to get this allowance. I went and checked Karen's time card from the previous month. I also compared it with mine. I now knew what she had done. She had used my time card when she was late to work or left work early. Karen's time card didn't have any recordings of days that she was late or left work early. Our company was old school in that it still used time cards, so it must have been easy for Karen to trick the company into thinking that she had perfect attendance. When the president's wife handed us our blank time cards to use each month, our names were handwritten on the time cards, so it would be easy for Karen to erase my name and replace it with hers. I couldn't believe that Karen would use such deception so that she could scam the company into paying her more money. Although I didn't know Karen that well, I was upset to find out that she was the type to cheat and lie. I told the president and his wife about what had happened. Because the president's wife rarely came to the office, she calculated the allowance payments based on the information written on the time cards. When I told her what I thought had happened, she believed me and apologized to me for the misunderstanding. But I didn't have enough evidence to get Karen to own up to what she had done. I could tell that the president had thoughts of his own regarding Karen. Because the company was rapidly growing from its inception, we didn't have a human resources department or other resources that other companies may have. It was more of a deal with each issue as they arise type of situation. That is why the president relied on each of his employees. When I first joined the company, it took me a while to learn the ropes, but now that I'm used to it, I love the freedom of making my own choices. I didn't have to be micromanaged. Up until now, I didn't even have any issue with the company recording our work hours using time cards. The president, his wife, and I agreed that we would need to come up with a plan to get Karen to confess about what she had done. The following month, the company continued to record its employees' working hours using time cards. This time, we would all be closely monitoring Karen's moves so that we could catch her red-handed. Karen was going to submit my time card as hers at the end of the month, so she continued to take days off of work when she needed to. She was also late to work and left work early on several occasions. At the end of the month, Karen came up to me and said,
"I think that I might get the perfect attendance allowance for 2 months straight.
If a working mother like me can get it, you should be able to get it too. I don't think that you'll get the allowance this month. I'm pretty sure of it, actually.
What do you mean by that?
I know what you did with the time cards, Karen. You switched your time cards and rewrote the names so that you would have perfect attendance.
Why in the world would I do such a crazy thing? Don't accuse me of something that I didn't do.
I have evidence that you switched your time cards. I showed her one of the time cards. I realized that something was wrong the minute you received the perfect attendance allowance. I just need an extra month to gather the necessary evidence. I had the president's wife give me 2 time cards this month. Don't you think it's strange that one of my time cards is exactly the same as yours?
How dare you go behind my back like this?
You started this. You lied about having perfect attendance. I know that it's difficult to get this allowance when you have a young child waiting at home. That's why the president gives your child allowance instead. How greedy are you? You shouldn't be taking credit for other people's work. To that, Karen had nothing to say and she was asked to go into the president's office. The president and his wife had a long meeting with Karen to find out why she had done this. They found out that Karen had been stealing office supplies and also putting her personal expenses onto the sales accounts. I then remembered that before the president's wife had taken over the role of accounting for the company, Karen had been in charge. The president's wife was one of the company directors, and she only got involved in the day-to-day when it was absolutely necessary. When she was too busy with the management of the company, she had asked for Karen's assistance with the accounting. It was Karen's job back then to get all the receipts from the sale representatives and record them for accounting purposes. Since no one was checking her work, she filed some of her personal expenses as the company's. She had also taken some of the office supplies home with her. The reason for her stealing money and the office supplies was because she was stressed about the fact that she didn't have enough money to spend on herself. All of her salary was being used to pay for her child's expenses. We found out later that she had come up with the idea of switching time cards with me because she envied my life as a single person. I could see how raising a young child could be stressful at times, but there was no reason to steal or lie to others. What she did was a crime, and she needed to take responsibility for her actions. Once everything was out in the open, the company notified the police.
Please don't involve the police. I don't want my husband or his parents to find out about this. Please forgive me.
If it had only been the switching of the time cards, the company may have forgiven her, but she had also been stealing from the company. She couldn't be trusted and needed to be punished. Karen was arrested for her crimes and fired from her job. When her husband found out about all of this, he divorced her and took sole custody of their daughter. I found out later that Karen's parents paid back the money that Karen had stolen from the company. Karen was ordered by the court to pay her ex-husband alimony and pay for the damages caused to the company. She ended up taking on multiple jobs to pay back her debts. If only she hadn't been so greedy and selfish, none of this would have happened to her. After everyone found out the truth about Karen, the president gave me my perfect attendance allowance and an extra bonus for the inconvenience caused to me. It seemed that the president and his wife were worried that I might resign from the company after everything that Karen put me through. But I love my job and I don't intend on leaving anytime soon.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.